Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Ladies of Sosa. My name is Sahra.
Oh my gosh. Listen, that was so natural.
Let's switch roles today.
And my name is Christine Ladu. Just kidding. No, go ahead.
No, okay. You guys, welcome to another episode of Ladies of Sosa. It is Sarah's birthday week.
Yay.
Birthday girl, how do you feel?
I feel very auntie-ish.
No.
I really do.
Don't say that.
Yes, I really feel like I've crossed that era. I know Amanual is so happy to hear that. He's you're finally embracing your title.
What is it? What is it that's giving you that feeling?
I don't know. I think it's like,
because I need to know.
You know, this year, like usually I'm really big on my birthdays and I plan my birthdays and it's always, I try to make it like an event. This year I was just like,
low key.
Yeah, we can do whatever. Like honestly, I just didn't really care to plan my birthday. And it's not because I'm not excited for it. It's just like the planning part. It's like, I'm over it. You know, like I don't care.
It's so stressful planning your birthday. Oh my God.
Yeah. And like, I really could just like travel and like not do anything and just like do something by myself. Like, and I've never been like that. I used to always want people around me on my birthday.
Turn up.
Yeah. Like,
go out, hit the club.
Yeah, shots, you know, but I'm like, this year, we're still gonna do that, but like
I was about to say, I thought
right, are we doing cocktails? Yeah, right. But this year's just like, it's just kind of go with the flow.
I love that.
So yeah.
What are you most thankful for?
That's tough. Life, number one, because not every day is guaranteed.
That's true.
I know that's like cliche, but like honestly, you just never know. Like things are so sudden. So grateful for life, grateful for great friends, because I feel like I have a lot of good people in my life. Everybody on the podcast, like that, the reoccurring people, even the people that are not reoccurring, like we've met a lot of people like on this podcast that are like
that's
really
so
amazing. True. And just great friendships, great relationships. Yeah, that's what I'm mostly grateful for.
Thank you, God.
Yeah.
Well, we just wanted to switch places today since it's Sarah's birthday.
Yes, and we're doing something tomorrow, so we're excited. I can't wait to hang out. What are we
doing? You want to let them know since they're not invited?
I mean, we're doing a reverse happy hour.
Yes.
I'm not gonna say. I was really about to say
don't
where
drop the
and
location.
What time.
I mean, by the time this comes out,
they won't.
Yeah,
right. But so we're doing a reverse happy hour with people from the podcast, with my friends from high school, from college. So
yay.
I'm excited.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and introduce the panel.
Very small panel. So we're gonna go ahead and start with Vaida.
Hey everybody, it's Vaida again. I have a question for you, Sarah, though.
Yes.
Because you are entering this era, of your life. Like, what advice would you give? Like the Sarah of the 20s, speaking to like the younger people.
Emmanuel,
what advice? What's so funny?
Emmanuel could never be serious.
Not you just
Emmanuel,
expose
this
my
is a question. I mean, I know.
Right. No, it's okay.
It kind of was exposed in the other episode.
True.
Yeah.
Like, but we never put like an actual number on it.
Keep an element of surprise.
I want to know what you have to say too after Sarah.
Okay. Thank you. Because
today's all about Sarah. I feel like my birthday drags.
I know, but you can have advice as well.
Okay. Yeah. What would you tell the younger Christine?
No, you answer first.
I would tell the younger Sarah to honestly, what would I tell myself? I think I did everything right.
That's big Leo.
Such a Leo answer. Oh my God.
Humble.
Like, what would I tell myself? I don't know. What would I tell young Sarah?
Any gems? Yeah. Like looking back, something that you could have told yourself that you feel like could have helped you, like good advice.
Would say, okay, what I would tell younger Sarah is kind of to like focus on building a little bit earlier and a little bit faster. I did everything right as far as like, I went to college, after high school, went to college, did everything,
right.
But I wish I would have kind of like had like a game plan in college, because I studied international relations with a focus like on politics, but I never like actually practiced my degree, which is fine because everything worked out and I have like a stable job and a good job, and but I wish I would have like made sure that I would have went to school for something that I knew for sure I was going to do, or at least be plan to go to like get my master's, or just plan ahead, because college is expensive.
Yeah, it is.
So, just kind of planning ahead. I kind of just went with the flow and figured it out along the way. But I feel like just planning so I kind of have my life structure, in place earlier, a lot earlier, because I had to figure things out like in my late 20s, but I figured it out. But just that's like a little advice I would give my younger self.
I love that. I mean, I feel like that was such a good answer.
Really?
Yeah. I think for this time, it's like looking back, you're just thinking back over the last few years. Shoulda, woulda, coulda,
Right.
like, okay, I should have done this. I should have been more serious here. But I just feel like another piece of advice would be you're exactly where you're supposed to be,
Yeah.
And of course, you're going to look back and be like, okay, I could have done this. I could have done that. I read this quote that said, when you think about your past, it's like it causes suffering.
Right.
And then if you
so
think about the
dramatic.
future, it'll cause you to be anxious and have anxiety. So you should just always focus on the present, just be in the present. And then that way you could just have peace of mind. And I feel like that's the most important thing now is just peace of mind. Just always be working towards your goals, but you're on your own timeline. You don't have to compare yourself to people, look on social media. Because now it's like if you're not successful or have this, and that by like 25, you're a failure.
Right.
Which, if you look back, that's never been the case. It takes people years to build up their careers and stuff and get to where they're supposed to be, to have those nice cars and big houses and everything like that. But now with social media, it makes us think we're supposed to have it right away. So I feel like, get to know yourself, figure out what you like, and just run your race, man.
Yeah. And the good thing is it's never too late to do whatever you want to do. So even if you do figure out things kind of late, as long as you're alive, there's still time to build yourself or go a different direction. So
I love that.
Speaking of social media,
yeah,
that brings us to our topic.
I know.
So
it all just flows together.
Yeah.
But let's introduce Amanual.
Oh my gosh.
He's in the studio too.
Hi, Amanual.
What's up?
You need to know you're hosting this episode.
I love Amanual's shirt. If you're listening, check out the video on YouTube to see. I just love like that hue. I don't know if that's teal.
Yeah, that's what I told him. It's like a teal, like turquoise.
Like
turquoise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it.
Nice.
Looks good on Sudanese skin.
Exactly.
What the fuck kind of intro? But anyways, hi, Amanual.
How are you doing, Amanual? What's going on?
I'm good. I'm all right. I'm enjoying myself. Finally
Friday.
making money off of this social media thing, so I'm happy.
Oh, okay. You getting paid?
You.
I see the wardrobe upgrade. You see
Right,
that?
okay. He said, look at some exotic colors.
That's not
Period. I love
You
that.
got a different era of energy about you today. I don't know.
sobriety.
Okay, that you do have a point.
Right,
that
you
makes
have
a lot
a
of
point.
sense. Okay.
What made you decide to be I don't want to say sober, like
Is
you
this
have
a
an alcohol
temporary
problem,
thing or just a goal?
No, I'm just doing it. That's it. I'm this end of the year quarter kind of situation because we're halfway through the year and I was like, you know what, let me just tighten up a little bit because I got stuff that I want to get done before the year's over.
Okay.
And I'm like, let's get that done.
I love that.
Yeah.
Focus.
It's my birthday, so I'm gonna have a drink. It's my birthday month, but
Ain't nothing wrong with that. You've already done so much work. Has it been a year since y'all started the pod?
Yeah, we're coming up on the year next month.
Wow.
yeah,
I can't believe it.
We got to celebrate, actually.
I think we do.
Yeah.
I think we do. We got an email saying this is the last episode we posted was our 50th episode.
What?
Which is, I know, that's crazy.
crazy.
That's a lot of episodes.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, that's a lot of conversations.
Mm.
I'm proud of us.
Yes, me too.
That means we only
Consistency.
missed 2 weeks the whole year
Mm-hmm.
out of 52 weeks. That's not bad.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was those vacation weeks.
Yep.
So,
So 50
not bad.
conversations.
Wow, that's amazing. The consistency.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now the next goal is to have Patreon episodes so that
Coming soon.
Coming
we're working
soon.
on that.
Yeah, we're working on that. Let us know what you guys want to see on Patreon, though.
Mhm.
That would help us because we're trying to figure out the tiers. So, huh?
You got to give them that unedited stuff.
Oh,
the
blooper.
unedited.
is that what y'all want?
Yes, let us know if that's
Because
what
a
y'all
lot
want.
of stuff be happening in here. Emmanuel be saying some wild stuff. I don't
we
know
can't-
if we're going to get that anymore, though, now that he's sober.
unfiltered. Oh no, I'm the same person. I'm just a little more calculated.
I lo-
But it's the same bullshit.
We love it. But yeah, we'll probably do like the unedited versions on Patreon. Because we can't, we can put them on YouTube, but
Yeah,
Monetize.
but then
We're
trying to keep our
see, like
sponsor.
before we actually start shooting and like just everything, no cuts, no nothing. I
Right.
think that's fun.
yeah, I think so
Yeah.
too. But yeah, let's get into the topic.
Social media.
Social media and soft life, like the soft life aesthetic. Black girl luxury, that's another hashtag that I've seen. and pretty much the imagery and the messaging behind what's being put out there. I actually had a conversation with one of my friends, which has kind of inspired this conversation, about how she had to get off social media because it was kind of making her depressed, because like just seeing like everybody like traveling and seeing all this content of like, you know, luxury content and love and marriage and like, you know, just really beautiful content. But if you're not in that space and you're not like, you don't feel like you're elevating, when you see those consistent images, it can make you feel like you're not where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So we talked about that, and we wanted to kind of like, you know, explore that in today's conversation.
Yeah, especially how we started off talking about your birthday and like what you could tell your younger self. I feel like our generation, we kind of grew up before social media got crazy, and then right when it was like starting up. I remember Instagram, based on a little other stuff, but it was nowhere near what it is now. I can literally see how it has just changed the way people think and how we go about our daily lives. And it's kind of scary, especially with like AI and how fast things are developing. I'm like, I kind of don't want to lose that sense of reality, you know,
Right.
of just having a outside of all of the information and comments and what people are saying, just being with yourself. So
Right.
I don't know. I'm just interested to see where it's going. There's a lot of good things about it, but there's a lot of horrible things about it that
Like AI.
people are probably going to study in years. Not even just AI, just its effect on our attention spans.
Yes.
Like how it caused like addiction through over scrolling, like things that I had to realize. I'm addicted to my phone. This is crazy, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a lot of things that we don't even realize that
Yeah.
it's affecting.
Even scientists say that they've done studies on it, and like young girls, they're affected by social media. So if they have a lot of social media use on Instagram, stuff like that, they reported a lot more higher levels of lacking self-esteem, because
Yes.
it's one thing, because going to school, like there's a standard. The standard is created by, your peers that are also your age. So if you're 8 years old, it's other 8-year-old girls. But if you have access to social media, now there's a whole bunch of standards that you have access to see. So it's kind of like, I've seen just how like young girls are kind of putting IG baddies on, like that's the
Yes,
standard for them,
yes.
And I've just seen a lot of, I feel so bad for this generation that's coming up and like through IG, because they're missing something. I feel like by
the ugly face.
they're missing their
Yeah.
youth, and they're not able to like
Yeah.
tap into that and like, and just be children, and and they have like the standard is an IG baddie. So
I saw on Twitter, girls were like in high school, the girlies, they were booking makeup appointments for their first day of school. And
No.
that's when I was like, yeah. And even like these days, an 18-year-old can look like a 30-year-old.
Right. The prom pictures. Like I know
The
prom.
birthday photo shoot.
Yes, I'm like, these people look like they're 28. You know,
the
because like I
faces,
think it's like the
beat, hair,
makeup,
laid,
the hair,
everything,
Yes.
outfit, like it's literally crazy.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, they look like beautiful, but they look like beautiful women. Like
Mhm.
they don't
Imagine
look
the
like
pressure
kids.
though.
Yeah.
Like I remember in high school, in middle school, we used to wear braids, the micros, like, no
Yeah.
makeup.
Now
you
it's-
just maybe a little mascara, little lip
Maybe
gloss,
lip
little
gloss,
lashes,
yeah.
Yes.
something simple.
Yes.
Still be a kid and still
Mhm.
grow into that so that you can enjoy that later on. I can't imagine beating my face for school every single. School starts like at 8:00.
Right. And you wake up.
Imagine what time these kids are waking up.
Right.
Like that's crazy.
And you guys think that's like based off like social media and the imagery
Mhm.
that's
100%.
put out there? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure to worry about how you're perceived and to
Yeah.
create this digital footprint of like, I got to make sure I take these amazing pictures and make my page so cool, and make sure people commenting and making sure I'm growing my following so I can be an influencer, so I can, get my TikTok monetized, and like it's just like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Everything is social media based, but they are they are selling that social media. Like the internet is going to be where there's so much more opportunity that's going
Right.
to come from social media and the internet, and that's like the new wave is like you need to start making your money on social
But where's the
media.
individuality? Like that's gone. There's like no more like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up?
You're right.
It's like everyone's goal is
Where's
like,
the astronaut?
because it's like people.
They're in space. Have y'all seen that? There's actually
Where are
somebody
the
stuck in space.
electricians?
Period. Listen. Like, damn.
Who's gonna build tomorrow? Like, they're all gonna be
Where's
making
the
TikToks.
construction workers? That's why 635 is messed up right now. We can't even get on 630.
That's why society is falling apart. I swear to God, the robots are gonna take over.
Please, enough of these 20v1s. Get your 20v1 ass.
No, it's really scary. It's a really scary thing when you really think about it.
I'm crying.
Get your asses in trade school. Just put the cameras and the podcast equipment down. Go to trade school.
Please, somebody. You have to.
But that's kind of hypocritical because look what we're doing.
That's true.
Oh, we're good at this. I'm sorry.
God, we're good at this. Please stop.
But I think it's important because we're doing it and we're literally talking about like, yo, this is crazy. Like, if you really think about what's going on and how much things have changed just within this last generation.
Right.
These kids, they have grown up with Instagram and social media, so they don't know anything besides it.
Right.
And like these iPad kids to where they don't know how to be bored. They're constantly with the screen in their face. They don't know how to like have, imagination. We used to go outside with chalk and draw. We used to play games, like makeup games, like like fun, like being a
go
kid.
Go find like different
Just
insects.
explore.
These Gen Z kids are ironic. Gen Z, is that what they are, or Gen X?
I think
the
it's
new
X.
ones are Gen X.
Yeah.
Damn, whatever,
The
man.
first ones are Gen X.
Goddamn
I'm
letter.
Gen Z, so yeah.
Yeah. So these Gen Xers are literally critiquing their parents for having the situation that they're having now, and they're talking about how they will not allow their kids to be on social media, and they'll take the iPads and everything away from them. And so I think it's going to go back to a point of like they grew up in that era and they saw what the effects are going to be, and they're going to be like, nah, you can't have it. Because like for me, we didn't really get the internet until I didn't get it until I was 13,
Remember
14.
dial-up when you had to wait and nobody couldn't be on the phone at the same time?
Right.
Like,
damn, I don't even. I just remembered that when you said that.
Yeah.
People don't remember that like Google didn't originally connect to YouTube. Google had its own video app thingy on the side that was trash.
take us back, Amanual.
But you could like
That is wild.
you could watch like old Dragon Ball Z stuff. All my nerd niggas know.
We love it. We know you love anime.
But people don't even remember that like YouTube was his own entity before Google bought it. Like I remember when YouTube dropped and we were like, videos just on a website? Like who's gonna do that?
Right.
And then 3 years later, those
Blew
first
up.
YouTubers started happening.
$1 billion company.
Timothy De La Guerra, all the kids that we're
Yeah.
now. I'm talking about. I sound old, like as if I'm talking ancient history, but like we got to remember all the people that started.
Like
Hannah Marbles, whatever happened to her after she canceled herself because she did the black thing.
I don't even know who that is.
there's
heard
so
that
many
name,
OG
yeah.
videos. The big girl who was on the table and remember like she slipped off and fell. That's early internet. The whole
remember-
Soulja Boy movement. Like that was a big moment.
Was Sharkeisha? Y'all,
Yes,
was that YouTube era?
Yes,
Sharkeisha, don't hit
that
her. And people don't realize
the
this.
nostalgia.
Yes.
This is a drug that we shouldn't be giving our kids because remember, even as kids, our parents were like, no TV.
Yeah.
Go play outside. Like even they knew to regulate the amount of TV we watch. Still watch a lot of TV.
Right.
But like now
we played
you have
outside too.
You have something that will give you everything in instant access. At least when we were kids, it was a set time and schedule when those Disney Channel movies would come out or something would come out.
Yeah.
And then boom, everything would be on repeat. So we wouldn't want to watch it and we would go outside and play.
And there was delayed gratification. You had to wait for a movie to drop. You have to wait every week for the episode to come out.
It's in the morning.
Now
It's like
they drop the whole
weekends.
season and there's no waiting for anything anymore.
Yeah, binge
you know?
watching is a thing, and that's even with adults. Like we're subject to that too, where we binge watch. I just looked at my screen time, and I'm not even gonna say it. I'm like, oh my goodness, I use my phone so much.
Yeah.
Like even when I'm working, I need to be listening to something or watching something.
Everything is tied to your phone now.
Mhm.
What Amanual was saying earlier about what is it, Gen X or Gen Z?
Whatever the generation is.
The youngest one. I feel like you're right. We shouldn't put all the blame on them. And like they're actually very, very progressive. Like you said last time, like with the way that they think and like how they view working and the work-life balance and all that. But it's also our generation too, because the whole YouTube thing, like with the parents, the mommy vlogging and I always think about when those kids grow up, there's going to be this whole lawsuit about how they are going to be protesting having their whole childhood put on camera. Imagine how cringe that is.
They're the child actors of our generation.
Wow.
A lot of YouTubers were getting called out for basically using their kids for content. It's really sick when you think about it because they don't have a choice. They're basically working.
Right, but they don't know that they're working.
It's the John.
I'm trying to see like the what's the negative ramifications of it?
John and Kate
privacy?
+8. Remember that?
Mm.
Huh?
You remember that? John and Kate +8. At least with that, they would stop. They would only film for a 3-month period, and then they would have lived their lives normally. But this thing about like the 24-hour like content cycle.
Yeah, because that's how they make money.
Oh,
that's
I
how they
see.
pay the bills.
Yeah.
So it's like you're forced to be in your mom's videos.
I
You're
see.
forced to, it's like I couldn't imagine like my mom constantly wanting to record us and make content. Especially like we really had an ugly stage. So I would be mortified to see videos of like myself as a kid, just being a kid and like having
so it's like one thing to like record your children because you want to share them.
Yes.
But another thing when it's like it's work.
That
They're
is
actually working. Now you're
the
getting paid.
income, the family income.
It's like exploitation in a way.
I think so.
I see.
It's
that makes sense.
absolutely. The kids should be getting a percentage of it because like for every. But they
probably are. What if they're getting their college paid for? Is going towards like a college fund?
First off, one video that's hitting 1 million is gonna give you anywhere between $10,000 and like $20,000, and that's not including like other stuff that you're doing in there with ads and everything else.
Because now it's a brand.
Mm-hmm. And
So people want to see the kids.
Interesting.
It's insane the amount of money that people are making off of their kids, but their kids would never know that because like 10, 20 years from now, they're gonna be like, Mom and Dad, where are all the money? They're like, they're here.
Right.
The life that we provided for you.
Mhm.
We provided for you.
What if they go to school, like when they go to high school or college and like they were famous, they have a famous YouTube channel and now they're getting made fun of for some videos that were posted
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Right.
You know?
Without their consent,
Mhm.
because as children, like
Yeah.
it's your parents that are making decisions for
Right.
you.
Right.
At what point, like, what if one day they wake up and they're like, Mom, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be on camera.
Mm.
Morally, where's the middle ground?
Do you remember the Osbournes?
Yes.
So the Osbournes had another daughter, their eldest daughter. She didn't want to be on the show, so she just ended up emancipating herself and just leaving the family.
But they're
Most
already
people never know
rich.
that.
So like I said,
That reminds me
Yeah.
of Rob Kardashian. I feel like he never wanted to be on
Right.
camera.
that's interesting. Yeah. I mean, because my sister kind of used to say like, because she doesn't like to post her kids.
Mm-hmm.
Which is natural. I thought she did it because she just didn't want people in her business, but she
Right.
just doesn't. I guess she doesn't like the exploitation of like small kids, or just not having a choice, like constantly being put in the forefront.
And she's right.
Yeah,
Not to be dark, but there's people who have exposed pages on Instagram or people who go look at pictures of children and like take pictures of children for inappropriate reasons. So you got to be careful of posting your kids online because you don't know what sick people. You might just take your daughter swimming and then post a photo of her innocently, but you don't know what kind of creepy people are online. So you really, it's scary.
You have
actually.
to check the bookmarks because if you ever peep anything on social media, like TikTok or anything like that, if you see kids' stuff, look at the amount of bookmarks, and then that tells you, like, just the weirdness of people in general.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, damn, okay.
I know.
right.
Even posting like the first day of school pictures or whatever, and then it's like, or posting something from the kid's school with the kid's school name on there. Do you know what kind of crazy
gosh.
people are out there?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's
like
not smart.
telling people where your kids go to school, putting your kids' real full names online. Like you got to be a little paranoid. It's sad that we live in this type of world, but you don't know what kind of crazy people are out there. So
That's true.
So
That's
from
true.
the kid situation, we obviously know that the kids should be able to have some autonomy with themselves. Now, as an adult, you complaining and crying about people. Sorry.
But it's true, Emmanuel, if adults are having trouble, like
Yes.
with its effect on our mental health, imagine someone who doesn't even know who they are yet, who's like 13.
Has social media affected any of y'all's mental health?
I'm
Nah.
sure.
Absolutely.
I'm sure it has. Whether unconsciously or consciously, it definitely has. Which is like even the comparison thing, like
Yeah.
because we only post the best parts of our lives. Like we don't post when we're going through it, and that's fine. People say like, "Oh, you need to post." I think there's this rhetoric of like you got to be real, but I'm just like, this isn't my community. You know what I mean? Like, post this for what? I'm not gonna post you crying. You know what I mean? On social media, like y'all are gonna pick me up.
Never,
you know
never
what I
set
mean?
up a tripod and cry. Please, for the love of
Yeah,
God,
I
don't
was
do
gonna say
that.
that's
Do that.
probably the top 10 cringiest
Yeah.
things you can do on the internet.
Exactly. Like
Record
don't
yourself
expect people to
crying.
catch you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel like, of course, like I've definitely been affected by social media. Like let's say you're going through it, you're like, wow, like you think everyone's having it well, but you have to think like when you're low like that, these people that you're seeing that you might be envying at the time, or like not envying, but like you might you just want to
Like, must be
experience the
nice.
joy that they're having.
Yeah.
Like they've experienced what your experience is. Just they didn't post it, and you wouldn't post yours either. I wouldn't post mine either. So it's life.
Right. Speaking of that, I want to kind of transition into the idea of like Black girl, like the soft life, Black girl luxury. I've seen some conversations in regards to that where it's like, what message are we putting out there? Because on one side, it can be inspiring to see women, especially Black women, who are like financially empowered and they can afford like luxury items, whether it be like new cars or purses or bags or like new homes, and like traveling and like seeing that imagery can be inspiring and just showcasing like that you can do that too. Because a lot of times us Black people are not financially in the same status as like, you know, our other races or our other counterparts. So, but the other hand, I've seen another argument about like I think was it overconsumption or over-consumerism?
I think both work.
Both work. Jackie Aina had posted a video she had like all these bottles of perfume. I don't know if you've seen it.
That's her, like, she's like
she
really
loves
into
perfume.
scents. She's really into
Yes.
scents.
Didn't she come out with
She
one?
did.
I think that was like part of the rollout.
Yes.
Like, get rid of all like 50,000 perfume bottles.
Yes.
And then replace it with the
with
one.
her
Yeah.
perfume brand, which that's cute marketing. But a lot of people were talking about how like, what's the point of owning like 500 bottles of perfume?
Yeah.
And the conversation of like over consumerism or over consumption during this, especially in this economy, like what image or what message are we sending to people? Like, are you being relatable to the everyday person? Like so just that conversation was going around. So I just want to explore that and see how we all feel about
I don't
that.
think that I'll say an influencer, but like Jackie Aina specifically, she's not the everyday person, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So like, it's okay if like we have to I think you have to approach it with the mentality of like, this isn't the everyday person that I'm seeing on my screen. Just because they might have 50-11 perfumes doesn't mean I should. She actually like this is her thing. Like, she likes scents. She's really into that. But I think it can still go into like, oh, well, I need to, I don't know. I don't feel that way. I think depending on the level of maturity, you might feel pressured to also engage in some of the lifestyle choices that she makes as an individual. But you really have to come at it consciously being like, well, she's not the everyday person. This is actually like what she's really into. And I think people can get bougie in whatever they're into. Like, if you like, you know, I don't know, clothes, people can be bougie with that. People can be bougie in whatever part of their life that they enjoy the most. And that's what she's bougie with. And she's been able, through people watching her for all these years, for her makeup tutorials or her business endeavors, to be able to afford that type of life. So I don't know. I feel like it just takes that type of conscious to like understand what's going on.
Right.
I agree. And that's a perfect point. Like, she is allowed to spend her money on whatever she wants to spend her money on. Like, if that's her thing that she wants to splurge on, you know, some people like bags, some people like traveling, some people, you know, so I agree. And she's also been trending just for social media in general with the whole name change situation. So apparently she changed her last name on social platforms from her last name Aina to her fiance, probably husband. We're speculating right now, last name. And people started posting all this content about how they felt some type of way about her basically soft launching her marriage without saying it outright or posting or letting people know. So they felt entitled to like her let people know that she's married.
And that's the thing with being an influencer, I guess. It's like people think like, well, you give us content all the time, so they think they may assume that every part of your life is content, and it's like
and so they tried to launch this smear campaign about like, oh, she always blocks people. So people started coming out and telling the story about how she blocked them and everything like that. So I mean, they're basically trying to say that she's been problematic. Like, this is
she's problematic for blocking
she blocks people and like, you know, so, you know, people, haters, whatever you want to call it, they'll wait for something to happen so they can come out and be like, see, thought she was weird, you know? Like,
I thought she was blocking people for saying congratulations. I was like,
they were saying that too.
Yeah,
she was, because she was blocking people for that too. But then people were coming out saying like, oh, she's been blocking people.
Okay, and speaking of that, like, because she kind of ties into this whole conversation, she created a separate Instagram page or like a separate platform because, you know, she's a beauty influencer, but she started posting like her luxury like lifestyle, which I love it. Her content is just really like crystal. It's like really like clean and clear, and like her house is beautiful. Like I like it, but I also understand the arguments that people have. But she addressed one time on her YouTube channel about people saying that she's like no longer relatable because of how luxurious her lifestyle is. Because imagine you start off on YouTube like everybody else, and you know you don't have the best hairstyles, you don't have the best makeup, you're using probably like you know drugstore makeup, and that's how you're starting off, and that's how you're pushing yourself, and then you blow up and you get all these endorsements, and now you can afford a certain lifestyle. And she worked hard. I mean, she's like a legend in like the beauty industry at this point.
She is.
So some people are saying that she's no longer relatable to her audience because of how like luxurious and like her lifestyle is. Like obviously only like a certain percent of people can afford that.
And she doesn't
lifestyle.
have to be relatable. Why are people entitled to her being like her? Like she's worked so hard, and I don't know, that puts too much pressure like on people, you know, to stay where they're at. You know, like relate to people in your real life.
Right. Do you guys feel like that that argument is only made towards Black women or Black influencers?
That's literally what I was thinking.
What argument?
That you know the influencers are too like luxurious, or we can't relate to you anymore because you know you can afford this and that, and like just kind of like getting upset about what they're putting out there as far as their content. Like if I
think that goes to white influencers too, because like if you get like somebody like Alex Earl or some of these girls where they just are that rich now, and that's what happens to influencers. They get to the point where they get disillusioned with what reality is, and then they lose themselves. It'll take like 3-4 years, and then they're not even acting like, I remember when you were in a garage making videos.
I've seen white influencers, and like I don't ever see anybody saying anything negative about their lifestyle. They're like, oh my gosh, amazing, you know, like like honestly, like they actually support. And because I don't know, I don't know. I want to hear y'all.
Audiences get so big because like the difference is here is overconsumption, right? Like the what's called life. There's no difference.
Life.
Soft life to me is like the guys that are like, I just got a Lambo, and you could do it too, young Black man. Just work your ass off, and you can get over it. That's the exact same thing, just the woman version of it. Like there's it's hard life for men. But
hard life.
What?
No, I definitely think people build you up to tear you down. I think that once someone reaches a certain level of success, it just makes people want to gun for you and like overanalyze every little thing that you do. And same thing like with the community thing. I feel like specifically in the Black community, that has been like a trend of like attacking people once they get to a certain place. It's like they want to humble you. Or, like I said, build you up to tear you down. So I think it's just, I don't know if it's like a crabs in a barrel mentality or what, but it's like you can be successful, but not too successful, or we don't feel comfortable with you getting to this stage. So now it's like, we're going to find something wrong with you, or we're going to, you know, like now you're too big, you're too famous, you're too rich, you're too popping. Right. Like, we got to humble you, you know? Right. I don't know. I don't get it.
I feel like some Black influencers, though, get a little resentful of their Black audiences because they feel like they want to get to that point where now they have a white audience. You know who I'm talking about.
Winnie Parker.
I'm not going to expand on who it is.
She's on TikTok. Winnie Parker, she made a video months ago, and she was saying how like, she feels that if you have a white audience, you get more support.
I'm going to say something controversial, and I don't care because I've been thinking about it a lot. It is better to have a following over a Black following. Before I go any further, this does not mean that I do not appreciate the people that support me and love me, okay? That's not what this means. But it is very obvious that Black people do not really support Black creators. We wonder why we don't get these huge creators the way that we get these huge creators.
And I'm just, that's what she said. And people say that she panders to, you know, white people. And so she's been catching a lot of smoke for those comments. Because it's not true.
That is interesting.
It's not a true statement. Like like the fact that you have to pander to white people in order to get more support.
What does she do?
She's an influencer.
Okay, like beauty.
not sure. I think it's lifestyle, or I think she just.
But it's not even lifestyle. It's more of like a social commentator
Yeah,
on like stuff like that. Because a lot of people try to transition from social commentator to becoming like this bigger thing, and sometimes you got to realize that you're not that. Like sometimes you got to know where you're at. Like for me, I know I'm not gonna be a dude that's gonna look in the camera and be. Yeah, like that's not gonna work.
You know who she is?
Fire's laughing. No, I don't.
You don't know who she? Okay, because I'm trying to like
don't do
add
that.
context
She
to
makes
what she's saying.
Content about her life. Like she has, she has videos with like her family. I think her daughter. She talks about her dating experiences too.
And she's black.
She's a black woman. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I don't agree or disagree, but when I think of toxicity, I think of platforms like the Shade Room, which is like they mostly post.
I had to follow them.
Yeah, I had to unfollow them years ago too. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I do check every now and then.
Me too. I still get my news from the Shade Room.
Slide through.
Yes. What happened? Let me just see what happened this week.
Yeah,
be informed.
Be out of touch. I'm already getting older.
Yes.
No, you gotta be on top of trends and know what's going on.
So the Shade Room is a news source now.
They're a gossip rag. They're not a news source.
The urban community, I feel like it's the biggest platform. It is the biggest platform.
They were invited. I saw one time they were invited to like the White House.
That's
something.
a shame.
Yeah,
like, that's a damn shame. The Shade Room is a journalist.
Okay, do not call me. It wasn't like the inside the White House, but it was like the election or something. Like they had like they were able to get like
that.
The Shade Room is huge, and when I look at every time I get on there, like it's a guilty pleasure because I'll get on there every now and then to like update myself. But when I read the comments, it's never changed. And that's why I unfollowed it in the first place, because it's so toxic. And you can see that like every time something is posted, whether it don't matter what it is, you can see like they're just trying to they're just trying to be funny. Who can have the funniest comment, like the most gotcha comment?
Who can drag you the most?
Who can drag you the most?
Yeah.
Like it's so toxic.
And that's their audience.
What's the difference between the Shade Room and what's the Fox show with TMZ? What's the difference between that? That's the exact same thing. There's TMZ is just the white version.
I think that Shade Room and TMZ are comparable. They
both tear people down.
Report celebrity news and tear people down, but I don't know. Shade Room is its own beast.
I don't think TMZ tears people down. I think they just post what happened.
Harvey literally used to have boards, and they would talk about people, and then they would like talk shit on them while they're specifically talking about
But they're talking about them. They're not purposefully, like they purposefully post certain stuff that they know people are going to get dragged on. Like, I'm sorry.
Right.
Some
without
of the stuff
context.
they post is like they post it knowing that people are going to rip that person apart.
Mm-hmm.
Have y'all gone on to
create
TMZ's
engagement.
website? TMZ is for more conservative white people. That's what it is now.
But here's
And
the
what
thing.
it does, it like pushes the same kind of narratives. That's why I say for black people, we should look at them as that. But for some reason, we trust these sources as that. But not us, not all black people, just a certain demographic.
But also TMZ also post white people, they post black people. It's kind of like a even like playing field.
How do they
in a way.
post? How do they post a certain?
I mean, I don't really follow TMZ. I just remember, I just see TMZ, like TMZ has reported this, and they're like the first to get information from my understanding. But I don't really see them dragging people. And, but TMZ is like for everybody. It's like all celebrity. The Shade Room is specifically like black news.
Which is ironic. Because they're sponsored by conservative.
The Shade Room?
Yeah, because they're sponsored by conservative, what's it called, backers.
I don't think so.
I don't think
the Shade Room
You're telling me the Shade Room is a conservative?
No, the Shade Room is so liberal.
Y'all have not been peeping it? Oh, am I the only one
Yeah, you're the only one.
No.
The Shade Room is not conservative.
No, honestly, are you talking about politically? Because they have been posting like very favorable stuff towards like
Trump?
the Republican Party and the
I
Trump.
disagree. I feel like their stuff is more favorable to the Democratic Party.
Absolutely.
No, because they'll post things like what celebrities have said, and it's like pro-Trump, and even people in the comments were like, what are you doing? It's election. It's like election year.
Yeah.
You think
Even when you read the comments and stuff, I don't think it's conservative.
I think the comments are just the people.
Yeah,
but like
what they
the way that they angle stuff, I always say it. That's why I'll never trust like AP and a couple other people where I look at them sideways because I know where they're leaning, and if you just observe it, you could tell pretty quickly. And that's why you just go to NPR. Why
I think I can agree. I think the Shade Room is politically what they post is like, I don't know. You never know because they post shady stuff in general. But some of the stuff is like, why do you keep posting Black people supporting Trump? Like, what image are you? Yeah, what narrative are you trying to put out there? I mean, it's fine. You have a right to do whatever you want with the platform, but I can see how it can come off like they're politically, conservative.
Here's one of my things. My biggest fear about us as a Sudanese community is we have to be careful with how we express our culture, because what I've seen from like Black culture in the United States is most of like the hip hop news sources are not owned by Black people. They're usually owned by outside observers reporting on it and specifically angling how they're going to tell this news story and how they're going to portray people of color. And they eat it up and they design it to where it looks like, oh, it's part of the culture. No, it's not. And then you realize who the owners and everything is.
I mean,
oh, damn.
Mostly white people own media in general.
Yeah, but we have the internet now.
Yeah,
we should be.
Yeah. I mean, so like everything, you just got to be careful because everything can be angled. However,
that brings me to another trending topic, which was the Breakfast Club interview with Michael Rubin.
I was thinking about that when you were talking about.
Yeah, I was like, I went to go search because I wanted to get his name right.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's been catching a lot of heat based on comments that he made during the Breakfast Club interview, where he was basically saying he doesn't like Black on Black crime and things like that. Like, so it's not, I don't laugh, Sarah, because I don't want it to seem like I'm trying to make it funny.
I'm sorry.
But basically he's come out to apologize. He said someone that he respects reached out to him and I guess corrected him. So he just wanted to come out and apologize.
It definitely was Ryan Clark. That sounds like Ryan Clark. I swear to God.
Well, he also said that Black people like to tear each other down. And
exactly why I feel like it ties into what we're talking about.
Look, I'm just being blunt because it's me. So one thing I've learned about Black culture that I don't like is that Black hate on hate.
Speak on that. I heard you say that earlier, and I wanted you to expound on that. You said you don't like to see Black people tearing down other Black people.
Yeah, it's horrible. Like it's horrible. Like why? Like I want to support every. Look, you guys, two of you guys know me pretty well. Mm-hmm. Anything I can ever help with, I'm always there. Mm-hmm. I always want to be helpful. I feel lucky and fortunate to do what I do every day. To be as, whatever success I've had, I feel blessed to do that, and I want to give back in every way I can. In business and in charitable things, I'm always trying to be helpful. Like, why does someone want to bring somebody else down? Let's try to build everybody up. Like, I'd be more excited if I'd be more excited to see one of my friends do something that's 99% less meaningful to me, but it would be really meaningful to them because I want them to do great. I want everyone around me to do great. Mm-hmm. I don't like watching, there's a little bit, and you tell me, you guys correct me if you think I'm wrong. I think there's a little bit of a Black culture of like, it's Black hate on hate. It's like that Black judge that Meek had that hated on him and wanted to go extra hard on him. Okay, it's it's what people always say to me. It's like Black hate on hate. So I think it's terrible. I think it's something that I think it's culturally wrong. And I'll probably get killed for saying this because
I'm glad you're saying it openly. If this is the conversations that are being had,
I have it all the time.
I want to hear this.
Yeah. So I think it's wrong. I think why do you not want to build everyone up around you? Why do you not want everyone around you to do great? The best way for everyone to do great is to push each other up.
Some people said that he was right, and some people said that it's not his place whether he was right or not.
It's not.
Speak on it. So I feel like that's a good debate.
It's not.
I mean, he could say it, but are we going to pretend like Trump and like the Republican Party have been doing that for like the last half a decade?
But is it his place?
White on white crime. White people tearing white people down. I hate to see.
Imagine us talking about like
white people need to stop doing
this.
For what he said in the interview is my question.
A billionaire who doesn't know what the everyday Black person is doing is always going to be out of touch and trying to talk for the people.
And he's speaking from what he sees, like his celebrity friends. Mm-hmm. And I think he was talking about in the context of not like us. And the drinking.
that was part of it, but I don't think that was on that part.
Okay,
yeah,
it wasn't.
Because there was another question about like he didn't play the song because he's friends with Drake and all that. But this was like separate, like just speaking about Black people.
Please stop protecting your boy Drake.
He doesn't need protection. He's good. Baby. Let
me get on that boy real quick. How the hell is you gonna have your white billionaire homie come in and be like, I don't play that Kendrick stuff?
That's
my
called
house?
being a friend. That's called, like, to me,
get
that's
that.
loyal. Sarah, if you come into my event and you're beefing with someone and they have a diss song out about you, I'm just common courtesy.
I didn't see anything wrong with that.
I'm just not gonna play it
As a friend,
there was nothing wrong
if
with
you
that.
play that
I'm
song,
playing that
gonna
shit
look
to
at
your
you
face,
crazy.
and I'm gonna be like, dog, why didn't you do better?
And you're fake. That's right.
Where were you, dog? I
So you would
believed in
play
you.
that at a party with a bunch of his industry peers as his friend.
That's embarrassing.
As his friend.
It's embarrassing.
Think about the context. Like, that's fake.
Why? First off,
Yeah.
Michael Rubin, why are you even mentioning that? Because we know you're not gonna play it like that.
They
but-
asked him.
He was on the Breakfast Club. Of course,
They
people
asked him because they know that
You
he's friends
that's
with
the
Drake.
culture.
And there was a viral photo from that party where people were like,
And-
Drake looks so depressed and all that. So they were just like asking him because
Let,
you
let
know,
me, let
it
me
was a
ask you a
moment.
question. Does this make Drake look more like what Kendrick was accusing him of? If a
y'all,
billionaire
you deny
who's
the
having
question.
a
You're
white
taking it
party-
a whole nother direction.
I'm just saying, like,
Do you think that man was wrong or right? That's all I want to know.
I mean, look,
Right.
he not like us.
Okay, that's it. That's all. That's it.
I didn't watch what he said. I didn't hear what he said personally. I just saw like a little clip or like, you know, the written version.
Right.
But yeah, I agree. I don't think that's his place.
Talk about black on black crime.
Right. Or
Yeah.
I mean, he could be right about certain things, but you're not going to really fully understand and be able to get in there and actually talk about it with full clarity because you're just not part of the you're not part of the community.
Yeah, and I hate when people frame it as if they care about black people in general because I don't.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you really cared about black on black crime, you have to care about, like, you have to address the problem at the root. So why do people commit crime in the
Thank
first
you.
place? And it usually comes from a place of lack of resources, poverty, lack of opportunities. So that's a lot of the Republican Party, I would say, as a whole. Like, they claim to care about issues on the surface. Like, we care about life. We care about all these things. We care about, you know, but at the root, they don't like to attack the problem. Like, why is this the reason that this is actually an issue as big as it is?
Right. And that's why it didn't land because like you said, he just didn't. And he didn't have I don't think he has the full wherewithal to go into like fully understand all of.
He doesn't have the desire to know.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, he's a billionaire.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we're making assumptions about billionaires and like and
nothing
white people,
about
but
that.
it just didn't like he's right. We do tear each other down. He's actually right about that. I do think that black people do tear each other down, but it's like if you're not going to get to the root of the problem, then there's no point in me talking about it.
When you say tear each other down, you're talking like verbally, like we tear each other down.
Yeah, I think verbally.
I know you were talking about crime too.
Oh, he was talking about crime.
So he owns Fanatics. He owns Lids and all that stuff. So Lids is like a part of the culture also.
Yeah, like Lids, the caps. Yeah, like the sports. Yes.
Also, he owns the What's Called podcast. He sponsors with Ryan Clark, Chandler, and Fred Taylor.
Okay. So it sounds like he had good intentions, but I still think it stands like if you're not going to get to the root of the problem, maybe just stay away from it because you didn't get to the root. And I think that's what Charlamagne was trying to like, get to is like, can you give us examples of like how white people do that, or like just trying to show him like you may not be very knowledgeable in this field because when it comes to black on black crime, like there's so much that goes into that like socioeconomic status and like saying that like we kill each other because we hate each other. That's not accurate.
I mean, it is for the gang violence, but like,
I don't think that black people kill each other because they hate each other. I think it's just a proximity thing. Like
you killed my cousin, I'm killing your cousin. It is a mix of.
If you're a criminal and you do crimes, you're gonna inflict crimes on people in your proximity, and that's most likely going to be people who look like you. So that doesn't have anything to do with hate. So that's where like that's the disconnect. It's like you got to dig a little bit deeper to actually fully understand like what you're talking about. And I think that's where he got the backlash. And he came back and he apologized, which is good on him. But yeah,
I personally looking at it. I feel like you said, I don't feel like he had bad intentions. I think the way the conversation was going, I think he thought he was making a positive comment, like let's just all be positive and whatever, but
let's love each other.
Like obviously not reading the room. So I just feel like I don't think it should have received all the backlash that it received. I honestly don't think it was that serious.
Yeah. It's not that serious.
And who is Mark? What's his name? Mark Rubin?
Yeah.
Who is he to speak on like the social state of Black people? Like he's not a relevant voice, so I don't think it should be taken as serious. But at least there's this evidence where he says he's gonna support Black. Did he say that he's gonna support Black people?
Yeah.
So shout out to that.
He was telling the truth, to be honest. Like that's another part of it too.
Okay, so let's talk about the truth.
He didn't lie.
Let's talk about the truth though. Okay,
he
so
does.
what part of it? Okay, let's talk about the truth because I think I agree that Black people, we do tear each other down. African people, we tear each other down. Like I'm just holding it. Well, I mean, I think we all do. Like as collective, like as like.
What does that mean though? Like if I'm tearing you down, what does that mean? Like verbally, like I'm saying bad things about you, and what weight does that have in your life?
I think I think both. I think even financially, like if we look at the bigger picture, I think like a lot of times like Black businesses, like we're not doing as well as other businesses as like our counterparts. And I mean, we're growing, but I don't think that we're like elevating or going in the same level.
I don't think that's like tearing each other down. I think it's maybe not us supporting each other as much.
We just saw it happen in Atlanta with the restaurant owner. In Atlanta? Remember the restaurant owner? He was giving back to his community. He did all this stuff, and then he gets gunned down.
Or even the beauty supply, they got evicted, and they were out there like vultures trying to steal all the merchandise,
or even
laundry baskets and stuff.
Or even to make it more like micro level, where in here in Dallas, our South Sudanese restaurants, like there was a couple, and there could be a management issue too, but like people will always say like, why would I go buy like eat mulakombo when I can have it at home? Like, you know, like why would I go pay for it at someone's restaurant establishment and give them money when I can just do it?
That's a big thing in our culture too. So that's why I do see the crabs in a barrel refusal to support someone's business within your community just because you don't want to see them do better than you.
Exactly.
So you'd rather go outside to an outsider to patronize their business rather than, you know, support one of our own, which is why when I look at, you know, I always talk about the other communities like Ethiopians, they've done really well in Dallas, and like just many other African communities as well. I feel like they support each other a little more. I know they have their issues as well, but it's something specific with South Sudanese to where we just can't come together to.
I bet you if it was a white person that made the Sudanese restaurant, they would support it.
Everybody would be there.
For sure.
That's what I'm saying. That's where I sit. That's where I see like we don't support each other and we do tear each other down. I mean, even like we can go take it back down to like the comments, like the shade room comments. It's like it's always so negative. And maybe
even when you go on those Juba pages, they be tearing people down on there too. Like they be eating people up. I'm telling you,
it's just like
grace.
Yeah. Granted, I don't know any other like platforms that are not Black that maybe have negative comments, so maybe that's why we're saying that. I don't know. Do y'all know any? You said TMZ.
I'd say TMZ does it all the time. And the old school tabloids, like I always say, like those whole shock jock pages where they say you wouldn't believe what happens. Even on TikTok, you see it all the time when somebody does the blind items. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about.
There was a picture. Okay, so there was a celebrity that got older and gained a lot of weight, and she was like a very famous, like well-known like model. And there was a picture of her now older and, you know, with more weight on her. And I was scared to look at the comments because I thought,
because you already know.
Yeah, because I thought people were gonna be, but she was like a white celebrity. But the comments were so nice. Like they were like, what do you expect when you age and you grow older? Like, you know, this is what comes to age. She looks great for her age. But I feel like if that was a shade room, it'd be like, damn, Black finally cracked. Like, you know, like they're trying to be funny.
Y'all have to remember that they can curate their comment section. Like y'all can curate the comment section if you really wanted to.
But
and a lot of the times
whether they curate it or not, that's
thing.
Literally like from growing up in school to now, it's like basically high school all over again, just on the internet. It's like who can say the meanest, nastiest, funniest comment about this person? Like that's what's gonna get the most likes and be the popular thing. And some of the stuff they post,
they perpetrate negativity.
Yeah, not the most flattering pictures of somebody.
Like
you know,
when they report on like. I don't think y'all been on Fox News things, have you?
Well, yeah, but they all agree in their
comment section. They be tearing people up.
I understand you're trying to bring white people into it, but this is as Black people, can we just talk to each other for a second since Michael's not allowed to talk?
And be for real with each other.
Because
here's the thing, if it's Zeus Network, like we're talking about the lowest of the low denominator when it comes to these networks.
Like, okay, is it just like
what examples?
Like what specific? So even when we talk about tribalism, we want to talk about South Sudanese or us killing each other back home or whatever. Or here, like the crime,
we gotta be honest.
Black on Black crime is a thing. Like well, not we, but look at Chicago, look at New Orleans, look at Atlanta, where people are like, young people are killing young people.
Nobody ever talks about St. Louis. Like
St. Louis.
Okay, St. Louis.
it's insane.
Girl,
Houston, Dallas.
But okay, so I have with the black and black crime thing, I do understand it, but that's a socioeconomic issue too.
It's also a cultural
I don't think it's
issue.
tied to
I think
race.
it's a cultural issue because when you look at certain things like the music, certain music genres like the drill music, where they promote like killing your ops and all that. Like I feel like that's a part of it. Like it's not funny.
Rap
Who
music
consumes the most rap? Who consumes the most rap?
White people.
Yes. And what do they want to see? The gangster, the idea of it. It's like the old mob thing. Like now that they look at black culture is that the mob aesthetic, the violence, the what's called behind it. So it is kind of a glorification of the bad guy. And that's what's going to do it for the culture. So if that's the only thing you can feed into, you kind of fuck yourself into a corner.
Yeah.
And the labels aren't going to take anybody that's not going viral. The labels aren't going to mess with anything. So this by design, the system is kind of
and rap,
inadvertently gonna
rap
feed itself.
music is inspired by a real lifestyle, and that's gonna reflect the socioeconomic status of like the people who come from there and the people who make the music. So it's still gonna be like a cycle. I still feel like if we fix the socioeconomic situation, then we'll see less and less. I mean, maybe we'll see more like, you know, suburban kids rapping.
Drake
but like,
shouldn't be speaking about spinning on the ops or mob ties.
Why are you obsessed with Drake, bro?
Leave Drake alone.
This is tying
bro.
around.
Let
Okay,
it
so
go.
this is what I'm talking about. So this ties around to the idea of like what Kendrick was speaking about, where Kendrick, his music, if you listen to that thing right now, especially with his last album, you're not really having that conversation of Good Kid, Mad City anymore. It's developed and it's changed and it's progressed. And we're asking our music to progress. How is the biggest artist in the world who's never been about that life trying to talk about that life?
Yeah, because that's what hip hop has always been about.
Progression.
Yeah.
And that's why Kendrick is the better artist.
I agree.
And that's he did say I like Drake. I don't like Drake when he act tough. Like he likes when he just makes the melodies.
Yeah,
like, just be yourself. Just be yourself. You can
His
still be a
last
hip
two
hop
with
artist.
Gordo were amazing. Them songs, I'm loving them. Him with Gordo, and they were like just dance.
It's all
bops.
hypocritical. That's
fire.
all I'm gonna say.
How is it hypocritical?
It's
No,
so
I'm sorry.
hypocritical.
Kendrick was surgical because he never told Drake like you shouldn't rap or nothing like that. But he was just like, be yourself. Like
I
we
know.
got.
How you gonna tell
A
somebody to be
psychoanalysis.
okay? How you
Like,
gonna tell
it was like a
someone how
whole-
to be? No, to me,
But
Derail the hell out of it.
yeah, no.
like he did that. He really wanted us to talk about
See,
it. He
that's
He
how
kept forcing it. He
Right.
kept bringing it back,
right.
that's how you win, you know?
Oh, you that
how
was
you were just
surgical.
crazy.
We'll
Or-
promote Seasons because Seasons came out with Amanual and Blue Ivy featuring Amanual.
Blue Nivy?
Oh, the video?
Oh shit! Not Blue
What's
Ivy.
Nivy?
Not Beyonce's daughter.
Blue
Balloon Ivy is crazy.
That is hilarious.
crazy word.
No,
Okay.
I'm
Emmanuel
sorry.
got a collab with Beyonce's daughter.
We going number one on
Yeah.
Billboard. Period. First South Sudanese to make the Billboard.
Blue Ivy. Okay.
That's good. Balloon
Beyonce,
Ivy.
I have nothing to do with this. I love you.
That's
Shout out
so
to
funny.
Beyonce and Blue Ivy.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm sorry, Blue Nile and Emmanuel have a song called Seasons, and it's really, really good. But we'll get to it at the end of the show. But
awesome.
yeah, well,
Well,
can we do the mental health part of
yeah.
let's talk
Just
about
to
that.
wrap it all up.
Everything that we talked about today, we talked about like how it can affect our mental health, social media, the
Children.
the children, the overconsumption, overconsumerism, and just always seeing certain images, always seeing luxury. If that's not your life right now and you
Yeah.
consistently see those images, I know it can supposed to be inspiring, but sometimes it can make you a little depressed because you're
Right.
like, why am I not at the same level as these people? We look the same, or we're both black, or we're both, from the same city, or whatever the case may be, like how that affects our mental health. And just kind of wrapping that up, because I think mental health is a huge thing within not even just the black diaspora, specifically even our South Sudanese girls and boys, because they're on social media now too, and how that affects them.
How has social media affected your mental health within the last decade of being on it?
Well, you said that you stopped using social media during the weekdays.
Yeah. I mean, I'll get on there every now and then, but I
Yeah.
don't. Before I would wake up, that was like my newspaper. I would wake up and like, okay, what happened overnight? Or, you know, so I don't do that anymore. It helps me be tapped into like reality, like my everyday life. And I think it's just better for your mental health, honestly, to not constantly be aware of what's going on with every single other person that you follow. I think that just helps to like work on your own goals and not like get distracted or compare yourself or feel like, oh, am I doing the right thing? Because this person just did this. Now I'm second guessing what I'm doing. I think it just helps you ground yourself and center yourself a little bit more.
I agree with that. Yeah. What about you, Vaida? What do you do to like protect yourself from like the overconsumption, like the content overload?
I feel like I'm still trying to figure out. I remember once I did like a total, like I think for a week I just went without it. I think we were like fasting or something in my life group, and I was just like, they were like put something that you think that you're too into, like just like put it away. And so I was like, okay, let me like use like social media. And so, but at the same time, like I was just like, that's cool, but like I know that it's something that I don't want to like live without. So I'm just like, what are ways that I can have this in my life and have it be sustainable? I still overconsume for sure, but like I think just being aware of like how things are making you feel and being like, okay, why do I feel this way? So so just because I feel like it is a positive tool for sure. Like the promotions on social media are great. You know, I've been able to like go to certain events or like, you know, make community through like things that I've seen on. I literally knew about Ladies of Social because of social media. So, you know, so like, I feel like there's so many positives to it for sure. Like if, you know, you want to find out about ways to tap into community or like things that are going on in your city. But I think you just have to know yourself and know when to tap out. And that just takes time and knowing more about yourself. So
yeah, I agree. I just looked at my screen time and my screen time is so high, y'all. Like,
what is it?
I'm like 8 hours a day and over because I use my phone at work when I'm working, like when I'm editing, when I'm doing anything with even with Ladies of Sosa. I have to have something playing. Like I have to be.
Me too. That's another addiction.
Yes,
that
like
I realized I had.
Something has to be playing. My ears have to be active.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think like just kind of like, you know, getting away from that. Cause I'm so used to having my AirPods on too.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like when I don't have them on, like when I was talking to y'all, I thought I had my AirPods on because I have them on all day. Cause I need to have like
always have something playing in the background and
Yes.
listen to something, multitasking. Even when I'm washing the dishes,
Me too.
I'm like, let me find something to watch so I can wash the dishes.
Yes.
It's bad.
Yes.
But when I realized that there's people whose whole job is to find out how to get us more addicted, like the algorithms, they're trying to figure out how can they get us to spend more time on these apps. That's when I realized, don't feel bad because you're up against a machine. Like you're up against, like you don't know what we're fighting against. Like
you're right.
Attention is their currency, like our attention.
Right.
So I realized
like
it's
ads on every single
thing. Do you know,
thing.
like I can watch a video right now, like I could just scroll. I can't tell you what I would just watch in the last hour, but I'll be on there for an hour. Just like it's just geared to make you just like go to and my attention span is getting less and less, like 30 seconds and longer. I will be in the, like if I get on a YouTube video, I will already be reading the comments while I'm watching the video.
Oh my gosh, that's so true.
And I can't focus on just the video. I have to be watching the video and reading the comments.
Yeah.
Like that's bad.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I think also like because I'm always listening to like something or always watching something, it's been hard for me to sleep. Honestly, like recently it's been I realized like, why can't I not sleep? And I'm like, it's because I probably don't like silence because I'm always listening to something all day. So when I'm like, it is time for me to sleep, I'm like still probably like scrolling or fidgeting or doing something to try to get away from like the silence.
We don't know how to be bored anymore.
Yeah. So I just like, a lot of times it's difficult for me to sleep. So I fall asleep when I'm just like completely exhausted. But it should be easy for me to just be like, put everything down, like let it be silent, let it be quiet, read a book, and then go to bed, you know?
And the notifications, like now it'll be like someone posted on Snapchat, why the hell are you telling me? Like, that is what's been annoying me lately, because it's like, okay, it's not enough that you're actively trying to like stay off these apps. It's like now they're like, oh, they're seeing that you're not on there, especially you're like, oh, someone just posted so-and-so, suggestion that you might know this person, you might want to, like, I'm like, no.
Yeah. So what I did is like I've ordered some books. I've been obviously reading my mom's books. Y'all should go get it. Woman Caught in the Crossfire. Yes, I owe you a book. I owe you a book too. I have a lot at home. Yeah, so just reading and like being able to. You said you too, Spider? I got you. I got you, our producer. But yeah, reading and like taking time, like putting your phone down. Put your phone on D&D, like at a certain time.
Go for a walk.
Yes.
I love walks.
And appreciate silence and quiet sometimes. It's okay to not watch a movie or scroll through your phone or watch a clip. Like it's actually okay.
Do y'all sleep better on vacation?
I sleep good on vacation.
Really?
I slept real good in Costa Rica.
You did?
Because I wasn't using any, like there was nothing to, like I was
That's
just enjoying y'all, you know? Yeah. So.
That water.
I hate that you can't sleep though. I can't.
Yeah, but I realized what it is because I'm always overstimulated.
Yeah,
so,
and sleep is so important. Like even for your health, it's how like you regenerate and all that. So girl, definitely figure that it's important to get a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
What about the melatonin pills?
I've been taking some. I'm actually trying a new vitamin that makes you sleep. So yeah, it's hard for me to sleep, y'all. Honestly.
I ain't gonna hold you. I took some lion's mane and a couple other mushrooms and like.
Not the mushroom.
Like yeah, that's why I haven't been really wanting to drink as much.
Oh,
and it got me.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
love that for you.
Yeah. Well,
mushrooms.
Well, hey.
Next episode,
we'll talk about it. Well, yes, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. Let us know what you think about social media. What is it called? Soft life. Everything. And we hope you enjoyed this episode. Did I miss anything, y'all?
No, we touched a lot of topics.
Yeah.
So definitely comment. Let us know and
Jackie
subscribe to our Patreon, please. We're trying to build our Patreon. There was a lot of bloopers that won't be in this episode, but trust me, it's worth.
Oh, it's coming on the next one?
No, it's gonna be on the Patreon. Those little bloopers. Yeah. So
well, there you go. Yeah, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Like we want to streamline you guys on YouTube and everywhere else that we have you. So we want you
just
on
call it the uncensored version of the podcast. So
very uncensored.
Yes, I love that. Well,
All
thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Bye.
See you in the next one.